I'm really interested in your opinion on, there's the old saying, nature abhors a vacuum. And in the context of our conversation today, I'm using this analogy to say, what do you feel is the unmet need within humanity right now that your work, and also the third psychedelic wave is here to try to resolve? Because this is the third massive wave of psychedelics. I mean, psychedelics are now so popular, they're being legalized in many places. In the past, when there was a wave of psychedelics, there was something going on, like Vietnam really triggered off a lot of unrest in people, and they didn't want to support an unethical, immoral war effort. And so people were seeking meaning and seeking a deeper level of fulfillment that they couldn't get in the social milieu, like Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell would say we lost our cultural myth, so people are just kind of scrambling and lost like a remote control car who's lost its signal. What do you feel is the unmet need in humanity right now, that bringing plant medicines out of the soil and out of the trees and out of the plants to help humanity?
Well, I guess the sad thing I would have to say, just like Jung said, we are still lost in our cultural myth, or we're still disconnected. Gabor Mate talks about the 4 disconnections. I think one of the lessons that I got from the spirits when I was sitting with them is that they said that in the future there's going to be earth people and cloud people. Mm-hmm. And cloud people are the transhumanists, the ones that want to transcend themselves and plug their mind into some sort of supercomputer and forget their humanity.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that we are human beings. I can't believe I'm actually saying this to you. But, it's...
Why?
Well, I mean, you and I get it, but it's some kid who's 12 or 15 years old, they're by virtue of connecting to Wi-Fi and TikTok, and they're living out avatars of themselves, not fully even connected and conscious of themselves wholly as a human soul. I've seen this. My partner has a young daughter that have been pretty much raised, and trying to negotiate that and internet usage and all that.
I've seen it over. I got kids, man. I got to watch them constantly, even with games that we would consider good, like mental development. All screens put you into a trance state. And the technology being used to commandeer people's minds is far, far more advanced than people even knew. And the fact is, if they knew what was going on, there would be an uproar so big they'd have to pass laws against it. I mean, I've looked into this a lot. This is very advanced technology, which I could break down and go into, but I won't railroad our podcast on that. But I agree that is a problem. I've seen it myself. And this is what Steiner calls Ahriman, the incarnation of Ahriman, which is pulling us deeper and deeper into matter. Steiner says humanity will go so deep into matter that they reach the point, if they survive, that they realize you cannot reach fulfillment in matter, and that you can't have a connection to spirit through matter alone. And we're in the throes of the Ahrimanic revival or uprising right now, and COVID was like the big initiation into all that. So yeah, it's a very serious issue. And it's another element of that is that we've lost our concept of what it means to be human, because we've gotten so far from the soil. Human means humus, which is of the earth. And, not our spirits, but our bodies, which is a very essential interface for the experience of love and emotion and value and instinct and connection. Metaphor is try having sex with a ghost. Imagine if you were a ghost and you did not have a body. You could not enjoy sex, which is why a lot of people get possessed by entities that don't have bodies, is because they want to get into a body to feel the effects of alcohol or drugs or sex or whatever it is. So if we lose touch with our humanity, it means we've lost touch with our soil, which means we've lost touch with nature, which means we've lost touch with the greater self. You used a word earlier, reality. I define, because there's huge debates on what reality is, especially in the digital space. My God, if you want to see how bad it gets, just read David Chalmers' new book, Reality Plus. It shocked me 100 times over, and especially how deep he's into this digital illusion. But I define reality as two things. Reality is what's happening right now, and reality is what supports your ability to live. And we have lost touch with what supports our ability to live, and the way you can objectify that. There's a fantastic book, which I think you would love. It's called The Web of Meaning by Jeremy Lent, and he's a really deep profound author, and it covers a lot of real important issues. But he makes the point that current research shows that we are extracting from the earth at a rate of 1.75 to 1. In other words, 1 to 1 would mean equal extraction and regeneration. But for probably since the Industrial Revolution, we've been on this uphill rate of greater and greater extraction. And when you have an extraction rate of 1.75 to 1, you're basically signing your own death warrant and everything in nature. Steiner made this very clear when he said human life as you know it depends on two things, bees and trees. And if either of them reaches a critically low level, life as you know it will cease to exist. And we're dancing on the edge of both of those realities right now. So anyhow, I just was saying that to make the point that I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think most people are aware. And I think it's dangerous as all hell that parents are so detached from. I mean, people are so germ phobic, they're afraid to go barefoot on the grass or go out in the backyard. I mean, Rockefeller has destroyed our connection to nature with a bunch of bullshit lies that cost us our health, our vitality, and massive amounts of money. Well, these guys are lining their pockets with illusions.
Well, again, just to reaffirm and reiterate what you're saying, Paul, it's that we've become too damn polarized.
Polarized, yeah.
Yeah. Either it's this or that. Either it's a Republican or a Democrat here in the States.
Yeah.
It's easier to believe one thing than to be in the nebulous zone of not knowing, and to open your heart up and your mind up and to walk the middle path. That's the middle path of the shaman, of the facilitator, of the healer. We have to walk the middle path without an agenda. And so yeah, it is our disconnection from middle path. It is our disconnection from Mother Earth. It is our disconnection from spirit. It is our disconnection from ourselves, because we're hijacked consciously. Our consciousness, our sentience is being hijacked by these tech companies. We lose connection as such with our children that we're rearing, quote unquote, because they're sitting in front of a machine. Yeah. I remember walking around in New York City 4 or 5 years ago, and these nannies would take these very affluent kids in their strollers with an iPad in front of them.
Yeah.
These kids didn't even see the outside world.
No.
So you have these generations that are naturally just coming into birth, disconnected by virtue. Mm-hmm. There's going to be dis-ease. The disease of Mother Nature, because we don't respect Mother Earth. Yeah. We don't respect ourselves. And again, because it is so uncomfortable to get to that connection of disconnection, to knowing that we're actually pretty fucking disconnected and it's all fucked up, we just want to upload and disconnect, because that's easier way out, as opposed to sitting with Mother Earth and the medicines and being like, oh, damn. Not only do I have to heal myself, I have to facilitate the healing of mankind and to bring this consciousness back down to the earth people, so that we can survive and thrive over many generations coming forward.
One of the things, this is a side note, but it's very relevant, and one of the things that's a symptom of what really has ushered in and been part of this disconnection from our humanity is the medical system's attack on breastfeeding worldwide. As soon as you take a child off the breast and disconnect it and start feeding it, canned baby food and fake bullshit formulas, you have just opened up Pandora's box in the negative sense of the word. And that breastfeeding issue has been going on for a long time. In my career now of 41 years, it's at least 20 years ago that I started really seeing the problems of women being afraid to breastfeed, being told they shouldn't. And then the fashion industry has so many women worried about their vagina getting stretched out, their belly getting stretched out, that C-sections are becoming, just more common than natural childbirths. They've turned the birthing process into a battle zone of fear. Women are actually afraid to be women, and men are so detached from what a woman is and a woman's reality that they don't even realize what's happening right in front of them. And so we're being overtaken by a drug industry, by a medical industry, by a fashion industry, by the capitalism and the attention industry of stealing your attention. And the sad part of it is people are sleepwalking right into it, like full on. And the road home is tough, because the further you go down that road, every minute you spend in that state of detachment, we have more and more people not paying attention to what's happening to the planet and what's happening to the soil and what's happening to the air we breathe and the water we drink and the food we eat. And this is like really serious stuff. And one of the things that I've watched happen countless times with plant medicine ceremonies is people have a deep realization, particularly on natural medicines, not synthetics, but they have a deep realization of how important nature is and how much they need more connection to nature. I've seen that over and over again.